Hi, everybody. I'm Marling Bohling with the Comstock Channel, speaking to you once again from Commodity Classic. It's in Houston this year, and I'm pleased to be joined by Brent Gatton. He is from Bremen, Kentucky, and he's one of the directors for the United Soybean Board. Before I get into the content of the interview, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with others. All right, let's talk about the work that you do with United Soybean Board. You're actually the treasurer, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So when we talk about the checkoff money that is actually, I guess, used by the United Soybean Board for all the different benefits, give me an idea of what they do with all the money.
Well, what we do, we invest checkoff dollars in research, education, and promotion. And how we do that on behalf of all farmers is there are 77 directors that make up the United Soybean Board from all the soybean growing states in the United States. And these individuals are split into 3 priority working groups. We have health and nutrition, innovation technology, and infrastructure and connectivity. And this time frame right now, we just finished up our February board meeting that was in Louisville, Kentucky, and we are in our FY25 portfolio build out. And what that means is these farmers are getting together, they're collaborating with each other, they're brainstorming, they're trying to put together some wish list items, like their Christmas list of items that they would like to see us invest our dollars in, to how we can get a greater return on investment to the farmers back home. So whether it be through technology, feed, fuel, any of those type of areas.
Give me an example of something you're working on right now.
One of the neatest things that we've worked on here recently is the Port of Gray's infrastructure study that we did. We were able to invest checkoff dollars into that research on the West Coast there to be able to see how the benefit of them upgrading their infrastructure would help the supply chain. By doing that, we were able to start shipping from 3 million metric tons to 6 million metric tons of soybean meal to the Southeast Asia area.
Really?
So to us, that was a quicker access route to markets. I was in Colombia, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago, on the See for Yourself program. That's a program run through our audit and evaluation committee. And they talked about how important that infrastructure was on the West Coast because commodities are not going through the Panama Canal because it's too expensive to ship, because the freight is too expensive. So we can still use our Western terminals to be able to hit those markets without having to go through the canal, as well as going through New Orleans to other ports.
So do you help with research?
Yes.
Like that?
Yes. We invest a lot of money in research as well. So we'll do research like we're actually using some soybean meal into firefighter foam.
Really?
So yes, so that's another new use that we've found. We've done research on like Sinlon turf. So a little bit of soybean oil-based material goes into artificial turf. And what's neat about that product is that out of all the turf companies in the world, I think there's 3 or 4 that are actually based in the United States. And Sinlon is the only bio-type product that sells turf. And so that's how they found their niche market. And I personally actually installed some at my farm, probably, I guess 2 or 3 years ago. I went on a mission trip to the San Diego Zoo, and they were discussing the benefits of Sinlon turf and how it was actually something that farmers are growing the soybeans, and that product is actually an AstroTurf.
Interesting. So you don't use it for pasture?
No, we're using it for hit golf balls around with. So,
oh my God,
yeah.
Well, that sounds awesome. I know we've been talking about different kind of futuristic things that maybe soybeans could play a role in. I know Mac Marshall and I had talked one time about the use for sustainable aviation fuel and that sort of thing. That holds a lot of potential.
Yes.
Is there anything kind of in that vein that you're also kind of currently looking at?
They're looking at all kinds of new industrial uses. We have asphalt sealant, concrete sealing. We have things like that are just trying to incorporate more soybean oil in. And now we're trying to, since oil has been in such high demand here lately, now we've got, we're going to have a pretty large supply of soybean meal. So now we're trying to find more avenues to incorporate more meal into feed rations and things like that through our poultry and swine pens.
So do you work at all with the end user to try and help educate them about how our U.S. soybeans can actually benefit them? I mean, do you do that?
Yes, definitely. We're trying to show them how if they increase their inclusion rates and things like that, of how this is a benefit, how it's better on their digestive system to those animals, and how the weight gain and things like that take place. And yes, we're trying to, we work with all of our industry partners, USEC, USMEF, USAPEC, organizations like that. We're all in this together to try to help move the pile, and it's just amazing to see all these organizations work on behalf of U.S. farmers.
So what kind of a pot are we talking about on an annual basis? How How much of a budget do you guys have to work with?
Well, as of last year, we actually approved. We had about $191 million that we approved back in last July.
Really?
This year, the budget, as you know, commodity prices are kind of down, and right now we're kind of below on collections than where we were last year at this time. But we still have plenty of funding there that's going to be available, and I'll be working with the senior leadership and staff. Finance team here in the coming weeks to months to be able to start looking at what those collections may look like as we get closer to funding the FY25 portfolio, which will happen at our July board meeting in Baltimore, Maryland.
So for those that may not be familiar with how it works, can you explain how the checkoff works? Is it based on a per bushel or by the price? How do you go about
It's how much, whenever a farmer sells a load of beans in there, is what he gets out of that load of beans. So if it was, say if he sells 1,000 bushel of beans at $10, that's $10,000. The checkoff works. Half a percent goes into the checkoff. So 0.25 of that will go to the state, and 0.25 will go to the national board, which is United Soybean Board.
Okay.
And the last return on investment study we had, for every dollar that farmers invest in the checkoff, they had a $12.34 return in that investment. So I think we'll take that investment any day if you're going to spend $1 and get $12.34 back in return. So this year, through the Audit and Evaluation Committee, we do a return on investment study every 5 years. And this year, the committee is already looking into that. So hopefully that information will be out later on this fall.
So far, it's been money very well spent.
Yes. Couldn't imagine where we'd be at today without the investment, the foresight that the farmers before us had to get this checkoff started.
Right.
Yeah,
I know it was kind of an uphill battle in the beginning, and so when that all took place. So anyway, but thanks for filling us in on how it operates and the kind of some success stories, if you will, about what's going on with the checkoff. Appreciate it very much. Thanks for the work you do.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Brent Gatton with us from the United Soybean Board. He is a farmer from Bremen, Kentucky. And that'll do it for this episode. Appreciate you joining us. For producer Brianne Hendrickson, I'm Marling Bohling. Catch you next time on the Comstock channel.
Thanks for joining us on our Comstock YouTube channel. Don't forget you can also find us on Facebook and TikTok as well.